Welcome to the September edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host, Joe Cullen. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll check out the grand opening of a new grocery store in Vadnais Heights. We'll get a preview of White Bear Township Day, and we'll visit the Farmers Market in Oakdale. All that and more is straight ahead on Northeast Journal. Hello everyone and welcome to the September edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host, Joe Cullen. Every month on Northeast Journal we give you an inside look at the people and places that make up the northeast section of the Twin Cities. It's not every day that you see large crowds gathering for the opening of a grocery store. But that's exactly what happened recently in Vadnais Heights. Here's a look at the official opening of Fresh Time Farmers Market. The city of Vadnais Heights was left without a large grocery store after Festival Foods closed almost a year ago. But that's all changed now with the grand opening of Fresh Time Farmers Market.
We like to look at ourselves as an indoor farmers market. So just with the theme, with the recycled wood, you look around, all our offerings of natural, organic, a lot of gluten-free options. The bulk food area you can see behind me as well.
Fresh Time has stores throughout the Midwest, including 4 in the Twin Cities. Company leaders thought Vadnais Heights was the perfect area for a new store.
As we look through our market research, there was a gap up in this part of the market. The previous retailer had left. And you look at some of our competitors, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, some other co-ops up in this area, there just weren't a lot of options for the consumer. So we thought it'd be a perfect fit for us here.
A ribbon cutting ceremony was held recently to open the Vadnais Heights Fresh Time. Several dignitaries were on hand, including State Senator Bev Scalzi and Vadnais Heights Mayor Mark Johansson.
I am so excited about this store. Not only is it a nice, wonderful grocery store, but it's a special organic store with good produce. It's going to be a real addition. We're so excited. The whole area is excited. So thanks for being here.
Vadnais Heights is very honored that you selected us as one of your locations. I believe you're going to really fill an important niche in the grocery market.
Fresh Time is located on County Road E in Vadnais Heights. Let's stay in Vadnais Heights for our next story. Producer Mary Klein and photographer Nick Anderson recently spent time with Vadnais Heights Recreation Supervisor Bridget Nault to see the city through her eyes.
I work for the city of Vadnais Heights, and I'm the recreation supervisor, so I oversee the recreation services for the city. If you want a Boundary Waters experience, going to Lake Vadnais off of County Road F is absolutely extraordinary. The Ramsey County Parks and Rec runs that park, and it's actually the water in that lake is used by the St. Paul Water Utility. But it's a Boundary Waters experience because you can't swim in it or boat in it or anything like that. So it's very pristine. Downtown Vadnais Heights on County Road E offers a lot of shopping and restaurants and entertainment, along with also on Highway 96, County Road D, we've got some pockets of retail and restaurants and shopping. The Vadnais Sports Center, that's been a huge asset to our community. It's a safe community. We just did a community survey, and I think they got like 97% satisfaction. it's really, when you think of it, kids, it's like a gym, you know, in terms of a workout. You know, they get a lot of exercise there, flexibility, meet some new friends. Moms and dad meet new friends at the playground, and you know, it's used spring, summer, and fall, so it's a 3-season activity. The Capitol and the United States government was encouraging companies all across the country to do a city festival in celebration of the bicentennial. So they changed the name and just, you know, added on a few events, but it's really a continuation of what the community club originally started. I do love the parade. It's very fun to plan it, recruit people to be in it, and then we line everybody up, and then once everyone's lined up and everybody goes, then I usually sneak back to the front of the parade, but near where the cable TV is, and get to watch it. The good thing is they can see that things are moving in Vadnais Heights.
A great place to get some fresh produce and maybe even some dessert is at the weekly farmers market in Oakdale. Let's take a look. Farmers markets are popular across the entire Twin Cities. One that just keeps growing and becoming bigger is the Oakdale Farmers Market.
Every Wednesday we have a farmers market that runs from 2 to 6 p.m. at the City Hall parking lot here. It goes until October 26th. We have anywhere from 20 to 24 vendors that have signed up. On a good day, we're at about 15 to 20 vendors that come each week.
Oakdale Recreation Coordinator Tim Getzky tells us some of the things you'll find at the Oakdale Farmers Market.
Obviously the main things is your produce, your fresh produce, but we have a couple bakeries that are here, Jet's Bakery and Bitmad Bakery. They do great work. You can find plants, you can find jams, jellies, honey, maple syrup, things like that.
Mary Sincata of Sincata Family Farms in Deer Park, Wisconsin, has been a vendor at the Oakdale Farmers Market since the very first one was held 9 years ago.
They actually contacted us and asked us if we'd be interested in doing this, and so we thought, why not? Give it a try, and we've been here ever since. We do both the outdoor and the indoor one all winter long.
This is Jonathan Tim's first summer at the Oakdale Farmers Market. He's the owner of Jet's Bake Shop and Catering in East Farmington, Wisconsin.
Actually, another vendor that is here, we do 2 other markets with, and she suggested that we come check it out. And so this is our 4th week. We came the first week and really enjoyed the market. There's a lot going on. It's very lively compared to a lot of other markets that we're at. This is actually our 5th market that we do, and by far the most vibrant and people going, and there's just a lot going on, and that's great for a farmers market.
The Oakdale Farmers Market is held every Wednesday from 2 to 6 p.m. in the City Hall parking lot at 1584 Hadley Avenue. The farmers market runs until October 26th. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to get a preview of White Bear Township Day.
Some of today's veterans have a new battle to fight. It's unemployment.
The unemployment rate of today's veterans coming home from war is 12%.
That's twice the Heartland average.
Tribute to the troops and the armed forces are asking for your help. Hire today's veteran.
Visit positivelyminnesota.com/veterans.
Welcome back to Northeast Journal. White Bear Township Day is a free fall festival that takes place in Polar Lakes Park on Saturday, September 10th. In a moment, we'll learn more about White Bear Township Day. But first, producer Mary Klein and photographer Nick Anderson give us a look at what White Bear Township has to offer.
White Bear Township was initiated in 1858. Same day that the state of Minnesota became a state. One of the traditional 6-mile by 6-mile townships throughout the state, and White Bear Township is the most populated one right now. Yeah, it's a rural feel because we have lots of Ramsey County open space, lots of parks, lots of wetlands. We have 8 lakes. We're about 50% open space, lakes and wetlands, and then 50% developed.
That's one thing interesting with the township. It is 4 different sections, and within those sections are the different parks, and they each have a unique area and diverse their own makeup themselves. Now this here is Polar Lakes Park. It's our largest and has a lot of amenities, but each park in itself has a lot of little amenities in itself that that the neighborhoods could be proud of.
Nature Center, obviously right next to our offices here, is a beautiful large acreage natural area. There's other county open space by the Bald Eagle Boat Launch is one area. Obviously again access to Bald Eagle Lake and then open space around it. There's the dog park just up the road off of Otter Lake Road for the folks who want to bring their dogs and play.
School has started, state fair is over, you know, it's kind of that turn of the season kind of a thing. I think it's really kind of a kickoff to fall, just that first, you know, September 10th, it's early in September, but it's starting to change. And I think truthfully it might be the last opportunity of the summer, fall to see a spectacular fireworks show.
Shopping close by, you know, the entertainment, the theaters, the restaurants, all the stuff that you would find in a normal city, but really like the open space. The wildlife around here too is pretty fun. We've got all kinds of things running around our yard all the time.
It's one of those suburbs that still has, you can drive into it, it has a tradition all its own. You can tell it developed its own little subculture.
And I'm now joined by Deb Stender, who is the event director for White Bear Township Day. Deb, I want to thank you so much for joining me again on Northeast Journal.
Thanks, Joe.
Now, we just had you on a few months ago to talk about Market Fest, and suddenly summer is pretty much gone, and we're here to talk about a fall festival.
We are. It's hard to believe, but we are right at the crux of that time of the year again.
And as we just watched a video that was produced by our department here that talked a little bit about what the community of White Bear Township has to offer. You were featured in that, talking about White Bear Township Day, which, as I mentioned, is Saturday, September 10th. Can you tell me a little bit about what folks can expect from White Bear Township Day?
Sure, absolutely. So as you said, it is in Polar Lakes Park, which is a beautiful park. It's probably one of the largest parks in the area, very conducive to a day-long event. It starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It goes until 8. One of the neatest features, if you will, of the event is that it does close with a spectacular fireworks display. So oftentimes kind of tell people this may be your last opportunity to see some really neat fireworks to end the season. The day also has live entertainment throughout the entire day. It's comprised of local groups, musical acts, professionals, really, really fun music. We can certainly talk more about that too if you'd like. And then there's also components for about everybody that you can imagine, from kids to adults. We've got kids activities, petting zoo, inflatables, sporting activities, as well as vendor booths, and of course my favorite thing, a lot of food.
Yeah, and it seems like, it's well attended anytime I've been to it in the past, but not overwhelming at the same time. I mean, regardless of what time you show up, it's pretty easy to navigate around there.
Agreed, and I think too that the large park itself is really conducive to large crowds, but large enough too that you don't feel like you're bumping into one another as well.
Now, you mentioned the music. Who are some of the acts that we can expect to find there this year?
Sure, absolutely. So on the community level, we have some performances by, goodness, now I'm blanking a little bit. Maybe we can edit that. From some local dance companies, and we've got the Lakeshore Players, for instance, that will be doing and highlighting some of their acts, so that's really nice on the community level. And on the musical level, we have another community act, a quartet from the area, which will be kind of a different spin on some things if you like that genre of music. And then our professional bands, we've got Doug and the Receptionists, which is a local band, and then we have Two Girls and a Boyd, which people may not recognize that name, but it's comprised of very well-known musicians in the area, Boyd Lee, Amy Lee, and Mary Jane Alm, which a lot of people may recognize. We're really excited about this group.
So it's kind of neat, not only do you have the great music, but it all has a local tie to the White Bear Township, White Bear Lake area.
Absolutely, and that is something that we strive to do.
I think, people, that are familiar with music in this area probably know there's some great musicians, so it's nice to be able to utilize that local talent.
Yeah, and again, the venue of this park is very conducive to musical acts too. There's an actual stage in the area, and we bring in sound and lights, so it's very professional.
And like I said, there's always plenty to do for people of any age. I know I've been there before with my son when he was really little. Like I said, they got the bouncy stuff, obviously got the great food. There's a playground right there too if the kids want to burn out some energy there.
Absolutely.
And you said it was from 2 to 8?
2 to 8.
And is there any charge to enter or anything?
There's not. It is free admission, so another nice piece of that.
And it seems like, you've had this event now for quite a few years, and it just seems to continue to grow and become more popular as the years go by.
It is. This is the 9th year, and every year it does grow a little bit, which is nice too. So new features, things every year. So even if you've been at it before, there's always something a little bit new.
And is there anything you can tell us yet about some of the food that we'll find there?
Sure. There'll be kind of everything you expect for a fair festival kind of thing, hot dogs, hamburgers, but we've got a few surprises in there too, so maybe we won't give it away, but some things that you might want to try. But again, stuff that is kind of common fare as well.
Right, and I know in past times too, it's a great opportunity for people to see, people maybe who work for the township or who serve on the town board. Also, I know you usually find, some of the local fire and police departments are out there too, so kind of a more relaxed setting to interact with, local city government type people.
Yeah, and in fact, one of my favorite events that happens during the Township Day too is White Bear Fire Department will be on hand with their trucks, of course, but they'll also be doing some extrication exercises so people can really see them in their gear with their tools. Some of that emergency pieces that, maybe we're lucky to not see on a regular basis, but to be able to observe it, you learn quite a bit. Another neat area, speaking of the trucks, is that the Public Works Department has some new trucks that they'll have on display, and so the community and kids especially will be able to explore that and see it, and we'll have a school bus, and so kind of some of those big vehicles, and so again, it's kind of nice to get up close and personal and inspect them.
I would imagine event of this size, this is something that must get planned for practically year round, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does. To keep the momentum going, sure, absolutely. And as with it being the 9th year and it growing a little bit, there's added features every year and takes some time to plan. And again, it wouldn't be anywhere near as big as it is without the cooperation and volunteerism of a lot of our local police, fire, the township itself, volunteers that help put this together.
Now, if somebody were watching this and said, hey, I might like to volunteer, would you have a spot for them?
You bet. I'd love it. In fact, if they checked out the township website, there is a place too they can contact me, and you bet I'll put them to work.
All right, we'll make sure we get that web address on the screen.
Terrific.
And not to totally change topics, but like I mentioned, we had you on earlier in the summer to talk about Market Fest, and that's obviously been wrapped up for a little while now, but was that a successful season?
Yeah, you know, as usual, it goes by so fast. We had a wonderful season. You know, weather for the most part cooperated. We had a few nights that maybe weren't quite as desirable, but as usual, our White Bear troops and diehards really showed up, and we still had a great time despite that, and we certainly plan to have another 7 weeks next summer, and everybody keep their fingers crossed for good weather.
I know I made it to a few of them, and as always, seemed well attended, and people of all ages enjoying themselves, and you know, the great food, the favorites, you know, that are there every year, and it's always fun to find a few new things too.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of the fun part about it too, is just that little bit of exploring the new piece, but having the comfort of what you would expect.
You know, and all that to say, I think that's what makes the White Bear Township Day so fun is, you know, during the summer there's any number of events always going on, but once school starts and you hit fall, you know, you're maybe not finding as many of those things, but to have another chance, like you said, to see fireworks, see some music, or hear some music, and, you know, for the whole family, it's kind of fun, and the price tag's good too. And
price
it's free.
tag is good, yeah, and free parking as well.
Now, is this the kind of thing, you know, would you encourage people to, you know, bring chairs then if they want to sit during the performances? And
you know, again, you know, the park itself is really conducive, especially for the music. There's what I call a built-in amphitheater to it, but I oftentimes, and we do have a few chairs and stands around, but if you want to be the most comfortable, I would absolutely recommend bringing your own chair or blanket. That's perfectly acceptable and encouraged.
And like I mentioned, I know, I think it was last year I went, and I wasn't there, you know, right on the dot by any means, but still was able to, you know, find pretty close parking and navigate around very easily. So it's, you know, seems by now a very well-run event that's easy to get in and out of.
Good.
I'm sure you're always happy to hear that.
I'm always happy to hear that, yes.
But yeah, again, if people want to find more info, we'll put that website on the screen, and we wish you guys the best of luck with it, and I'm sure the way time goes so quickly, before we know it, we'll be talking about the 10th one next year.
That's correct. Thanks, Joe.
All right, thanks a lot. And it's time for another short break. We'll be right back with more of Northeast Journal in just a minute.
Extra DWI enforcement is now being served on Minnesota roads. Don't be what you drink.
An important resource in the White Bear Lake area has a different look. We recently visited the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf. Comfortably tucked away not far from downtown White Bear Lake is a resource that is a lifesaver for hundreds of families in the area. Executive Director Andrea Kish-Bailey tells us about the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf.
We provide food to anyone within the White Bear School District who has a self-identified need for food. So basically, many people that we serve are just making ends meet, make a little too much money to qualify for any federal assistance programs or county programs. So if a car breaks down, if there's a medical emergency, if there's just any unexpected expense, that's usually your food budget that goes first. So that's what we're here for.
There are specific times when people can come to the food shelf.
We shop by appointment. So you call and make an appointment. Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, or Tuesday and Thursday evenings we shop. And you can come and shop once a month for milk, eggs, meat, fresh produce, dry goods. And then we also have a weekly distribution on Fridays. We call it Bonus Fridays. And we get a food rescue pickup from Second Harvest, about 2,000 pounds from wonderful grocery stores like Cub and Festival, Kowalski's, Fresh Time. And we're able to provide that to our neighbors. About 55 families come every Friday for kind of an extra bonus distribution.
On any given month, over 545 families visit the food shelf for food and support.
People are so very, very grateful. We've heard wonderful things of our improvements over the years, being able to offer fresh produce. Sometimes people tear up when they walk in and they see that they can have as much fresh produce as they can use. Sometimes we have kids come in, we have a little kid area in the front, a little kitchen, and the kids will come so excited to be able to play and to make food and then find out their parents got the same food that they were pretending to make.
The food shelf has over 200 volunteers that do everything from greet shoppers, stock shelves, pick up donations, and tend to the garden out back. The White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf is always in need of volunteers and donations. For more information, check out their website at whitebearfoodshelf.org. There's a lot of important races and issues in this fall's election. To ensure that the younger generation is prepared to have a say, the League of Women Voters recently helped to register voters at Century College. Photojournalist Jeffrey Wilson has the story.
I just really feel very passionately about getting people involved in democracy and getting more people out to vote and educating people on the issues, and I really feel that that's very important. Good morning. Are you registered to vote? I'm Lori Sukup, and I am the chair of the Voter Service area of the White Bear Lake Area League of Women Voters, and I have been in that role this is my 3rd year now. Good morning. Are you registered to vote?
I am, yes.
Well, today we are doing a voter registration at Century College, and so we're just talking with the young people that happen to be going by in the Nest area here, and just kind of engaging them and finding out if they're registered to vote, and if they're not, asking them to take a couple of minutes and fill out a registration. They can do either a paper registration form, which is kind of the way it's been done for years, but now we do have the online registration, which is just terrific, and the kids really seem to like that. So we've got a laptop set up here, and we are signed into the Secretary of State's website, and that is mnvotes.org, and it takes about 3 minutes, and they can register online. Can I get you to just sign in right over here, and I'll take this.
I basically just had to come over to the table, sit down, fill out a paper. It took like 5 minutes, just basic information. Super easy.
Yes, it is. And would you like a pocket constitution? They seem to be pretty fired up this year. It seems to be getting everybody's attention, and that would be young people included. So I think that they're looking forward to getting out and making their voices heard. Get out and vote.
That's all we have time for on this month's show. Thanks for tuning in, and join us again next month for another edition of Northeast Journal.